Hey everyone, so my name is Kate with Scott Lorraine Marketing. Today we are going to be going over customization to your website. So this is your KW website, and we're going to be going over adding some additional custom features, pages to your website. I tend to go through all of the content and save questions for the end. Just that way we make sure we get through all of the content and we're not missing anything. And also just to make sure that you guys can stay up with us so you're not falling behind or anything like that. So if you have questions though, as we're going through that, drop those in the chat for me. If it is a quick question and I quickly answer it, I will. Otherwise, I'll kind of save it for the end and come back to it. So just keep that in mind as we are going through everything. Tracy, everyone said sound was good. So if you're having trouble hearing me, you may want to see if you can adjust your volume on your end. And hopefully that will fix it. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. So again, customizing your website today, we're going to want to start in command for this. So by going to agent.kw.com, sorry, we got some people still joining. If you're not familiar with command, I will drop that in the chat. Now, again, for today's class, we're going to focus on the website portion of command. However, really quick, I want to show you where you can access and make edits to your marketing profile in command, because your marketing profile is going to be the profile that feeds over all of your personal information to your website. So if you need to make any changes to your photo, to your bio, phone numbers, emails, any of that, you're going to want to go to your name in the top right-hand corner. From there, you're going to want to navigate to settings. And then from there, you're going to want to go to connect settings and marketing profile. Now from the marketing profile, you of course want to make sure that's turned on. You want to make sure that any of the required information, so anything that has a red asterisk, is completed. And anything else you may want to appear on your website or your branded app. This information again feeds over to all of those platforms. Now we're not going to go through this step by step. We do have the more basic website class that you can take a look at going through this step by step and what all needs to be updated. But we're going to head back to the home page. Now, one other place you want to take a look at updating your profile is going to be the My Profile. Now, there's very few pieces of information that feed over from here. However, if you want additional languages or specific service areas, you're going to want to add those in the My Profile. Bio, photo, things like that, they're not going to pull from here, but those two pieces of information will. So you'll want to update those here. Now, moving right along, we're going to head to the Websites tab. Now, if you're not familiar with these icons on the left-hand side, you can expand that menu bar by hitting the red and white KW. You can also hover over those icons. They will tell you the name of them as you are hovering over them. So again, we're going to focus on websites for today's class. Now, once we're here, we have just our URL displayed here. We can make some few surface level edits by clicking that button for editing. This will allow you to make some very basic edits to your homepage. Again, there's not a lot you can do here. We do cover this again in our website setup class. So if you're interested in that at all, you can check out that class. For today's class, though, we're going to primarily focus on this expert mode. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. Before we jump into expert mode, though, just a couple other things you can edit for your website right here in command. You can head to settings. Now from here, you can edit your subdomain. So if you're interested in changing your domain for your website, you can come here and change that there. Sorry, we got some people still joining. So again, you can edit your subdomain right there. You'll want to hit save changes. Other pieces of information you can get on here is your app URL. Now that app URL cannot be adjusted. However, you can come here, copy that, and share that with anyone you might like. Now, if you're on a team, you should see team referral links as well. These are just links that allow you to share the team branded website or app, but they keep you as the agent. So when leads were coming in from those specific platforms, you would be marked as the assignee or owner. Now, next you have some preferences. This allows you to enable or disable these features. So if you want neighborhoods to show on your app or website, I'm sorry, if you want the Keller covered or Keller home loans to show on your app and website, you can enable or disable those. Now, lastly, you have forced registration. This just means if you want someone to be forced to register an account before they're able to look at properties on your website. You can limit that to 10, 2, or 0. You can also leave it as unlimited. All right, moving back to our expert mode. So you can also access the expert mode by hitting this edit my website button right here. That will take you into this same website dashboard that you're seeing on my screen. Now, for today's class, we're going to focus on adding some custom pages. So if you're interested in editing these default pages, again, these are things we cover in our beginner kind of website setup class. So if you want to take a look at how to edit those, you can check out that class, and I can drop that link in the chat at the end of class if you need it. We're going to focus more on these custom pages, custom landing pages, things like that. So ours is a little overwhelming. I'll stay up at the top. Just want to point out though, lots of questions coming in. So if you are joining us late, if you're trying to get to this page we're on, you're going to want to go to Command, and you're going to want to go to either Edit My Website, or you can get to the expert mode by clicking right here. Let's keep going now. All right, so the first thing we want to start with is we want to start with some of these templates up here. So we're going to kind of hang out in this quick start area for a minute and take a look at some of these templates that KW has already provided. These are kind of very easy pages to add to your website for extra customization because KW has done most of the work for these. Really, you just have to go in, create the page, and publish them. So the first one we're going to take a look at is this Why Work with KW template. So we're going to go ahead and click this one. Now, once we click that one, we can make some changes to this. We'll give it a second to kind of load. But as you can see, it's providing you with all of the information to go ahead and add this to your website. So it's going over a little bit of information. Why would you choose Keller Williams, work with a KW agent, things like that. So you can edit the page title, which is right here. You can edit your internal name, what you see it as. You can adjust the page heading. You can even hide that title. So if you want to hide it, we'll give it a second. It usually takes a minute. You can kind of see the eyeball loading there. So it's hiding that top, that header. You can also change the photo that displays there if you want to. So if you wanted to upload your own custom photo, because it doesn't currently have one. Sorry, I'm toggling too fast. You can also adjust the text that's in here. So if you want to adjust the information that's included, if you want to add information or adjust these spaces, because there's quite a few of them, all of that can be edited by you if you want to. So if you want to add additional information about yourself here or your specific KW office, you can certainly add that information here. Now, once you're done, it also has a contact me form. So as you can see at the very bottom, it has where you can they can contact you directly. You can turn that off or leave it there. Once you're done though, these pages, like I said, are very minimal. You don't have to do a lot of work. So once you're done and the page is created, you can simply hit publish, and this page would then be added to your KW website. Now, I'm not going to hit publish because we already have this one on our KW website. But once you've hit publish, that should display on your KW website. Give me one second. I'm just going to show you guys where that kind of lands. Within 30 minutes of it being published, it will generally appear under this More tab. So you can find it that way. You can kind of see this one's already here. We've edited a little bit, but same general idea. Again, I'm not going to hit publish, so we're going to go ahead and head back to the main dashboard by hitting this KW in the top left corner. It's going to ask us if we want to leave because we haven't saved any changes. Now from there, the next one we want to take a look at is the mortgage calculator. So we're going to go ahead and click on that one as well. Now, again, a lot of these templates already have most of the work done for you. So you can make some simple edits or you can just publish them as they are. Let's give it a second to load here. Looks like it's taken a second. Give it a quick refresh. There we go. So as you can see, we have our page title, internal name, page header, all of the same kind of information we saw on the last page. But again, you can edit any of this. So if you want to change the page title, if you want to mess with any of this information. Now this down here can't really be edited because it is the calculator. So it's a pre-made template in there. However, if you wanted to remove your contact form from this, you could hit the minus sign to remove that or hide it. So the plus and minus are going to be seen a lot as we're working on these KW sites. It's basically hide or unhide. So just keep that in mind when you're seeing those, if there's something you want to remove. Now you could add additional information to this if you wanted to add a module or info on top of what's here. But if not, you can simply just do the same thing with this one. You can go ahead and publish and get this one added to your website. I'm seeing some comments in the chat. We're here by going to the dashboard or expert mode in our command website. If you joined us a little bit late, I do have to kind of keep going to make sure we get through all of the content, but I will stick around at the end if you have questions on what you missed or came in late for. I know we do still have some people kind of jumping in, so I don't want to derail us too much, but if you are needing to get to this website dashboard, you're going to want to go to websites in command. And from there, if you go to settings and edit my website, it will bring you into this dashboard where we can start creating custom content. Sorry if going a little bit fast. Again, just a lot of information we want to make sure we go through. I will try to slow down just a little bit. But again, these pages are pretty much made for you. They're kind of just add them to your website, publish, and you're good to go. All right, let's keep going. So again, once you get this template ready to go, you pull it up, you can just go ahead and publish. Again, not a lot of information that needs to be edited on this page because KW has already done a lot of the work for this one. Now, once we're done with this one, again, I'm not going to publish. We have these on our site. I'm going to go ahead and go back to the KW in the top left-hand corner. And the next one we're going to take a look at is the download my app. So that's going to be another template. Again, these templates, KW has done most of the work. You're going to simply click on those. And again, if you did miss where we were for those other templates, it's all in this quick start section at the top of the dashboard. So we went through the template for why work with KW. And then we also took a look at this mortgage calculator already. So the next one we're just jumping into is this download my app. How often can the mortgage calculator should only need to be published once. Once you've published it and added it to your website, you should be all set. You shouldn't need to come in and republish it. All right, now the download my app. This is for your website for them to be able to quickly scan a QR code. As you can see on the right-hand side over here, it says scan the QR code to download my app. Once this page is published, there will be a QR code here. For whatever reason, it doesn't show in the preview here. I'm not sure if it shows if we open this either. I haven't tested this in a while. Yeah, so once this is published, your QR code will populate right here so that clients, consumers, people visiting your website can quickly download your branded app link and start searching for properties on there. Now, again, template is mostly done here, but you can edit some of the information. So if you need to edit the page title, if you want to change the internal name for yourself to be able to find it, if you want to adjust the page header, you can do that here. And again, it just has the page contents. You click that. There's nothing really to edit here because, again, KW's created this. There's nothing you can edit on this specifically. However, if you wanted to add a contact form for them to be able to contact you directly, underneath this, we can do that by hitting add a module. And if we scroll all the way down, keep going, you can click on the one that says form. So this is a pre-made form already. Once we do that, it has a new module over here for page contents, and we can go ahead and click this little drop down. And from there, we can do the default agent contact. And that's going to be your just generic contact form. We'll give it a second to load. Anytime that eyeball's spinning, it's trying to get that updated. So you could add this if you wanted to. Again, this can be added to any of your pages. This is just kind of personal preference if you want it everywhere or on every different page. So that can be added as well. Once you're done here, though, again, this one's simple. So you just hit that publish. And then within 30 minutes, it's generally going to appear on your KW website. Again, not going to publish this one. We have this one already on there. But if for any reason you're not seeing that QR code, once you've published this, reach out to our support team. We're happy to take a look at this and see if there's anything going on that we can kind of adjust for you. Since I'm not publishing again, we're going to use this KW in the top left corner and go back to that dashboard. Now, because I'm not saving any changes, it's just letting me know, hey, are you sure you want to leave? And now that we've covered, so we've covered the Y Keller Williams, we've covered the mortgage calculator and the download my app. Now our last template we're going to take a look at is this home evaluation one. So we're going to go ahead and click on that one as well. And we're brought into a similar page we've seen on the last few. Now from here, again, you can make edits to the page title, the internal name, the header. Again, if we click this drop down, there's a little bit to edit, but not much. With this page specifically, the client or consumer viewing this page is going to enter their property address into the search bar, and it's going to do one of two things. It's either going to give them an estimate, or it's going to say that there's not enough information, and it's going to notify them that you're going to be contacting them and reaching out to them. Now, once that's completed, you're going to get a notification in your command that they've either received that estimate or that they need more information. So you should get a lead coming into your command account with that information on it. Now, again, this is one where you could, again, add that contact me form since there's not one. And again, to do that, you do the add module. Scroll all the way to the bottom. And again, it's just that form one. And from there, you click the little drop down and the default. And then it should update and add that contact form to the bottom of the page. Now, the reason we recommend adding this is because every once in a while, if the client or consumer entering their information does not go all the way through the process, and submit all of the information, it won't send that lead over to you. So this provides them with another way to contact you and send that lead over. Again, once we're done, there's not a lot to edit here. You go ahead and hit publish, and you are all done with this one. So we are going to go ahead and go back to the KW page. I don't see any more questions coming in right now. If I missed any questions, guys, I will make sure I cover those before we jump off class today. All right, so we've gone through, again, most of our templates. Now, the next one we want to do is kind of a custom page. Now, there are custom pages and there are custom landing pages. Now, the difference in those two is that custom pages are added directly to your KW website. A custom or a landing page is going to be a standalone website. So if you were here before they upgraded the websites, you could create those standalone landing pages. It's still the same. Landing pages can't be added directly to your website. They're just a standalone website on their own. So for this next one, we're going to create a local school search for our website. If you're getting an error adding that, we may need to take a look. Not sure why I would be giving you an error. I'll see if I can help with those at the end of class, and if not, I may just have you email our support email. All right, so the next one we're going to create is a local school search. Now for that, we're going to use this URL right here. I'm going to go ahead and drop this in the chat for you guys. And this is for us to, again, create our local school search. So once we're on this website, we're going to scroll down. And down here, we're going to look for this school data widget. Now from here, you can either enter a city, state, or a zip code, depending on how you want that to pull information. We'll go ahead and just do Boston. We'll hit enter. Now, once that has gone, it should update this information. We generally recommend, and it can take a second. Now, the next thing you want to do is you want to adjust the size of this widget. So for the KW website, we generally recommend 800 by 800. It usually fits the best on those KW websites. So now we have that. Now this map is interactive once we add it. I'll show you that once we get there. After we have our location and our sizing, the last thing we want to do right here is we can choose our background color. Now for background color, it's really just this border that's going around this map widget. So you can change that since it's going on your KW website. You could have it black, you could have it red, whatever color suits you and that you like. You can go ahead and select that. I'm gonna go ahead and go with the black one. Now, once I'm done there, I have my map pulled up based on my location. I have my sizing and my border selected. The next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and generate the code just to make sure it's updated. Once this code is updated, you should see your location within that iframe down here. So if you're not seeing that, you may want to refresh and start over or try to generate that code again. Now, once we have our code, you can expand this box by hitting that. That way you can see the whole thing at once. But we're just going to copy this. So I'm going to go ahead and select the entire iframe. We're going to go ahead and right click and copy that. And now that we have our code, we're going to go ahead and go back to our website. And from here, we're going to create a custom page this time. All right. Now, once we are on our custom page here, we can start editing some of the same information you saw on those templates. However, because this is a custom template or a custom page, none of that is already pre-filled. So we're going to want to do our page title. So we could do Boston School Search here. And it should start to update. Again, anytime that I has a circle going, it's working on updating that. There we go. Again, we can have our internal name if we want to. I'm just going to put 114 just in case, since this is for class. We can then adjust our page heading. We can hide that title if we want to. So if you don't want that to show at the top, you can toggle that off. That will just remove it. If you wanted to add a background image here behind the Boston School Search, you could do that as well by uploading an image. And then we want to do add module. Now for this one, it's a little different. We want to still scroll all the way to the bottom. And once we're at the bottom for this one, we want to use the HTML embed. Now, once we select that, you'll see we have a new page content down here at the bottom. Now from here, if we've previously created this, we could just pull that in. However, most of you probably haven't yet. So as you can see, we have previous school searches. I'm going to go ahead and do create new. Now you should see a blue barcode, a blue banner at the top. This is where you're going to create your HTML embed code. So I'm going to do Boston School Search. I'm going to put today's date again. And this is where you are going to paste that iframe that we just got. So you're just going to simply right click and paste, or you can do Control V. Now, once that is pasted there, you should see it populate over here on the right-hand side. Now it is aligned to the left side of the screen. We have a trick to fix that so that you can have it centered. So if you want to do that, you're going to just click the greater and less than sign with center in between them. and that will center that map on your screen. So that just makes it look a little bit nicer instead of it having left a line. Now, once we're done, we have our iframe entered, we have center. Again, if you aren't sure how to get this centered, that's the trick, just adding the less than, center, and greater than sign before that iframe. And once we have that, again, we're going to go ahead and publish this time. This is not an actual page yet. This is just the iframe or the HTML embed. You should get a green banner up here that says it was published once that's all set. And we could go ahead and go back. Now we're back to our custom page at this point. From here, we want to pull that into our custom page. So we're going to click the little drop down, and it should be at the top. So as you can see, Boston School Search 114, that's the one we just created. Once I add that, give it a second to load, it's going to add that map. Now this map's going to be interactive on your website. I should have Scott's website pulled up. We can take a look at that. Under more, let's just take a look at one of these school searches. As you can see, this map, they can zoom in. I think you could do it on the other page too, but it's a little easier to see here. They can zoom in. They can also find the list of schools. So they have a list of all of them. They can also search. So maybe they're searching a specific zip code or a different area than what's shown on your website. They can go ahead and change that, and they can search for that as well. So makes it super easy for them to search anywhere, not just where you have decided your school searches. Let's go ahead and go back to our custom page. Now we have our map. Of course, I'm a big fan of always adding that contact form. You can never give them enough places to contact you at, in my opinion. So we're going to go ahead and add module, go all the way to the bottom and select that form again. And the same thing as before, we're going to go ahead and select that default. And that should add that contact form right below the map. Let's see, the last step again. When you're creating the HTML, is that what you're referring to? Do you need to recreate the map? You're going to do under the HTML embed, you're going to do create new. And then this is where you would make your title. You would paste your URL or your iframe. And then you're going to do the, I never will remember which one, greater than, less than, center. And then it will align that in the center of the screen. So this is the little key to add in front of that iframe. After that, yep, you just publish. And you'll give it a second to kind of load. It will give you the green light at the top that it's been published, and you can go back. Once you go back, that's when you want to come to the HTML embed, and you want to find the one that you just created. And it should always populate at the top, so you can grab that. Yes, if you guys need help with that again at the end, we can definitely come back to that. All right, so once we're done, again, all you have to do, make sure you hit that publish button here. If you don't publish, it's not going to appear on your website. And it does take, like I said, about 30 minutes generally for those to appear on your website once you've published them. So it's not going to display immediately. I'm going to go ahead and hit the KW again. I don't want to actually publish this, but again, if we need to come back to it, we certainly can. All right, let's keep moving along. Now, the next one we're going to create is a property landing page. Now, this is a template. It looks a little different because, again, this is a landing page, not a page that's going to go on your website. So if we select this property landing page template, we're going to be brought into create the page, make edits to it. Now, as you can see, you're immediately prompted to select a listing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this listing I have pulled up over here. We're going to just grab this address. And then as you can see, once we start typing that, it starts to pull those. I'm going to go ahead and grab this top one. Once we do that, it should start pulling the rest of our information. There we go. Now it's pulling all of our listing information from the MLS. So it's going to have all of the photos, everything like that is going to pull directly from the MLS. Now, you can change the photo if you want to have a custom video or just a different photo. Otherwise, it's going to pull that one from your listing. Again, your image here. Now moving down to our contents, you can see that some of this is going to allow us to edit. Others won't have so much that we can edit. Once we're under the property landing core details, this is where we can add some extra information. So if we want to put the property address here, I'm just going to put the street address. We'll give it a second to update. There we go. As you can see, it populated right here. Put it here as well, since I missed that. All right. And then now that we have the property title, everything like that, we can start to decide what we want to be displayed here and what we don't. So if there's certain information up here that you don't want shown on here, you can turn that off or turn it on. So if we want to hide the price, we can toggle that off. It'll take it a second, but it'll update. If we want to hide the address or beds, baths, all of that can be toggled off or on, depending on what you would like to have displayed here. As you can see, now it just says for sale. You can turn that back on. You also have living area, lot size. If you want to hide the description, all of that can be toggled off. Now it has a contact button here. This says contact null. That's because it's Scott's account. Yours should say your name here instead. If we go ahead and close this one back up, the next one we have is the property landing agent information. Now, as you can see, when I click on that, there is nothing there to expand. That's pulling from your marketing profile. So there's nothing to adjust there. Same for some of these other ones. Sorry, it's just taking a second to load. There we go. So there's nothing here to edit for that carousel. It's pulling all of that from the MLS. Now the map view, we come down. The map here, there's a couple of things that we can adjust on this. If we want to hide the boundary line, so that basically neighborhood map around it, we can turn that off. You can also hide the map completely if you'd like to by hitting this minus sign next to it. So if you don't want the map to display at all, you can remove that. And also, if you didn't want your contact information or contact form at the bottom, you could turn that off. I'm not going to do that. We're going to leave it alone. I'm going to put the map back as well. See, we got a couple questions. Yes, this is a landing page. So this would be a standalone site. It wouldn't be added directly to your website. Once you are done with this, again, entering that listing information is the main piece that you need to edit here. Once that's done, it pulls in a lot of the information for you. That's what's really great about the templates they have created. It just makes a lot of the work super easy. Once you're done, though, you can go ahead and publish the landing page, and you can start using that to highlight this property and share. I have not seen a way to add another agent to this template. You're saying create a landing page using their address? If that's the case, I would just check with them and your market center with your specific guidelines to make sure that that's allowed, and you should be able to. All right. Again, not going to publish. We're going to go ahead and click the KW to go back. And again, it's going to prompt us for leaving. Now, the next page I want to show you guys is another one that's pretty easy to make. It's the open house sign-in page. Now, that's not created through the website dashboard itself. That's created on your physical KW agent website. So for this, I'm going to navigate back to command for a second. And from here, we're going to go to the My Websites. and that is under the website's applet. We're going to grab the URL for Scott's website, and I know I have it pulled up already, but we're going to go ahead and just paste that here so you guys can see how to do that. Now from here, we're going to find our property address. So again, I'm going to use this one again, and we're going to paste that right here. As you can see, I searched it earlier, so it's showing up. Now this little blue dot means that this is an active listing. These are going to be older ones. So we're going to go ahead and go with the top one that is active. And we're just giving it a second to load. Bear with it for a minute. All right. So now we are on our Scott Leroy website. We've pulled up our listing. You can see at the top, we are on the Scott Leroy website. We have the address pulled. Now up in this search bar is where we're going to create our open house sign-in sheet. So you're going to click in this search bar, and we're going to make sure we're not highlighting any of the information. So we want to be at the end of that, and we're going to do a /, and we're going to type in open house. Now, once you type in open house, you're going to hit enter on your keyboard. And we're going to give it a second to load. Now, once that loads, you can see that our URL in the top has changed. It now says open house and has a bunch of numbers identifying this property. And the page has changed. So if you're looking at this one, it's a little bit different. It has the photos. It has all of the property information. You can come down and view the rest. When you're on the open house sign-in sheet, this is it. I cannot scroll down. It has the photos, so I can view all of those photos. It also has some basic information about the property, and it has where they can put their information. So they can plug in their name, phone number, email, and submit that. They do have to check mark these little boxes, the disclaimers on here. But once they submit their information, that is going to feed over to your command. As a new lead, it will have the address identified in their contact timeline. So great way to be able to know exactly what that lead came in for. You can also use this URL to create a QR code. So if you had a flyer at the open house, you could put that QR code on there. And that would be a great way to funnel these leads from your open house into your command by using a flyer and a QR code. So that is the open house sign-in sheet. Again, it's super simple. You go to the listing on your your website, you click in the browser, and you do / open house and enter. And then it will reload that page. I know it's a little fast sometimes, so want to make sure everybody caught that. Any questions on the open house? I don't see anything coming in, so we will go ahead and keep trucking along. Now the next one I want to show you is a neighborhood page. So we're going to take a look at creating that. For a neighborhood page, the easiest way is again to go to your website, your branded website. From here, you're going to generally search a property or you can search a neighborhood as well. So we'll do the one we just previously did. So do Washington Park. As you can see, when we're doing this, some say city, some say neighborhood. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the neighborhood for this example. And then once we are brought into the search, we're going to select a listing. So let's see, I'm going to search out a little bit. I think I did Washington Square and I meant to do Washington Park. Or maybe I did Washington Park. I meant to do Washington Square. We'll try this one. There we go. I think this was the one I was looking at earlier. So once we have found the neighborhood we're interested in, as you can see, it has the outlines of the neighborhood here. If we click on one of the property addresses within that neighborhood, you'll be brought into the listing. But if you go all the way down, you can find the Explore Washington Square. Now, once we're here, if we click the Go to Neighborhood, It will bring you into a new browser that has the information for the neighborhood itself. So it kind of looks similar to what you would get if you were sending a neighborhood nurture email. It's going to have a lot of those same kind of like stats and information. So you have the map, what's going on around there in the market. Again, recent, active. You have some properties in the area, nearby schools, etc. So you can have all of that information. Now, this is where we want to grab this URL. And from here, we're going to go back to our website and we're going to do a custom page. And then we will name this, see, it was Washington Square. I'm just going to name it Explore. Same as what it said. It's going to put the internal name, page heading. We can, of course, hide that if we want. Same as before with all the other pages. Again, they all have similar or the same fields for you to fill out. So you can add a photo as well. For this one, we're going to do add module. And we're going to go all the way to the bottom again. And for this one, instead of doing HTML, we're going to use the iframe embed. Now from there, we're going to do the same thing. We're going to go up and create new. I'm going to go ahead this time and post my URL. So that's why I grabbed it already from that search bar. And it's going to go ahead and start pulling that information over here on the right-hand side to show all of that neighborhood details. Now, again, I can name this. I'm going to do Explore, Wash Square. I'm just going to shorten it. You can change the iframe height or width. We find that the ones that are set are usually pretty good, so we don't generally mess with those too much. From here, since we've added our iframe, we can go ahead and publish. Again, we should get that green banner that it was published. And from here, we're going to go back. Now that we are back on our custom page, we can go ahead and find that drop down again. And I don't see it out there. It is popped up, took a second. And now we have our iframe. Now we do get questions about it showing the same information twice. So you see we have about me. We also have about me. There is no way to remove that. It is basically putting another website onto your website. So it's going to display whatever this is showing on that URL. So there is not a way to remove that. You can either leave this title here to create some separation between those. You could hide it. I feel like hiding it just shows that a little bit more, but this is a personal preference here. You can actually put none. That will remove this space altogether. Give it just a second. So as you can see, it's kind of duplicating that information. So having that header, having that title, it kind of creates some separation there. Otherwise, once they scroll down, they're not going to see it. But if they're at the top of the page, they will. So kind of personal preference there if you want it to display or not. I'm going to go ahead and leave it on. Now, of course, at the very end, we can add our favorite thing to add, a contact form again, all the way at the bottom. We're going to find form. We're going to select that we want the default contact form. Now, other things, you guys, that we kind of didn't cover that you could add to your custom pages. Of course, there are a ton of options when you come here, but you can also add, let's see, I don't see it here. Oh, you can add property tours. So that's kind of a video that you can add to your page. So there are other things that you can add on there that have, you know, additional modules already created. Market center contact information, preferred vendors, things like that. So those can be added as well. Looks like we have a couple of questions. You can add, if you're asking about this background here, Sorry, I gotta move my chat bar so I can move up. If you're talking about where this title is, you can add a photo there. Let me just grab one really quick. We'll just grab one of these. We're gonna download. So if I want to add that image, I just upload it from my computer. I can create an internal name. You don't have to. Once I do that, it should update that. Give it just a second. There it goes. So now there is a photo there. It does create a little bit more space, makes it look a little bit nicer. Any of the headers, you can always add a photo there. So that is always an option by adding that photo. That's on any custom pages, any landing pages, any of that. You can add those there. We didn't cover hero photos. That's covered in our website setup class. But if we have time, we should be wrapping up here before too much longer. These are the main kind of custom pages that we add. So I like to leave room at the end of class for questions, or if somebody didn't quite follow something, we can kind of go back to it. Once we're done with this one, though, for the neighborhood, we can go ahead and publish. You remove text when you add a photo. If you're talking about removing this section here, you cannot remove this. Again, it's copying exactly what you have here. It's taking this entire URL and putting it into your website. So there's no way to remove that duplication, unfortunately. It's going to have this basically website menu bar at the top as well as here. Adding the photo is not going to remove that. It looks like a lot of questions coming in. I'm going to finish this page and then we can stop recording, go through any additional questions. We've got about 10 minutes. Once you have this page all set, again, the final step is always to publish. Make sure you publish. If you don't publish that, it's not going to appear on your KW website. So press that publish. I'm going to go ahead and skip that and go back to the website dashboard. I'm going to stop record so we can go through questions. I know there was quite a few, so let's go through those. If you didn't drop your question in the chat and you have one, drop it in. If you don't have questions and you want to jump off, that is totally fine as well. I just like to make sure everybody is good on everything we went over. So we will stop record.